Alright, this is section 2.2, writing the equation of a line. We are dealing with two sets of equations. For standard form is ax plus by equals c. Okay. And the slope-intercept form, if you remember, is y equals mx plus b. Okay. Now, you can write the equation of a line, if it's in slope-intercept form, very easily. In this case, you can read the y-intercept, which is right here at b equals 7. And the slope, if you count down here, it's down 1, 2, and over 5. So remember, the vertical move is on the top, and the horizontal move is on the bottom, so it's down 2 and to the right 5. And so the equation of the line is simply y equals negative 2/5 x plus 7. And that would be your answer in slope-intercept form. In standard form, it's a bit different. You have to get it in slope-intercept first. So the b for this one, okay, is going to be negative 4. And if we count our slope, it's up 3 and over 1. So the slope, and both to the right, is 3 over 1, or just 3. Okay? Just work. Okay, so then we have our equation. This is for 2. Y equals 3x minus 4. And we need to put that in standard form. So we're going to move the y over. 0 equals 3x minus y minus 4. And then you're going to add the 4 across. So you have 3x minus y equals positive 4. And that should have been a y. And that will be your final answer. Remember, you want your x's are positive and no fractions. You have to clear a fraction if there is a fraction. Okay, for standard form. Alright, they want this in standard form. Always pay attention to what form it's asking for. You have the slope, so you can put it in slope-intercept form very easily. 1/2 x plus 6. There needs to be an x there. Now we're going to add 1/2 across, so you have positive 1/2 x plus y equals 6. And to clear the fraction, I'm going to multiply everything by 2. So you have x plus 2y equals 12. Okay? That's that final answer. Here, 1/3 passes through this point, slope-intercept form, so we can use the point-slope formula, which is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So you have y, and this is always, of course, your x1 and your y1. Y minus 2 is equal to 1/3 times x minus 4. We want it in slope-intercept form, so we have to distribute the 1/3. 1/3 x minus 4/3. So now we're going to have to add this fraction. When we add the 2 across to both sides, we have to change this 2 to sixths. So let's look. We've got 2, and it's not 6 to thirds, times 3 over 3 will equal to 6/3. So we're going to replace that 2. We're going to take the 2 off of there, and we're going to replace it with 6/3, which is the same as 2, but it allows us then to add those together. So my final answer is y equals 1/3 x, negative 4 plus 6 is plus 2/3. And that's the final answer. Okay. Now, here we have a slope is undefined. Remember, that's a vertical line. And vertical lines are always x equals some number. So all you do is go here and look at the x value. X is 2. So that's your equation, and that is in standard form. The variables on one side, the numbers on the other. Now, m equals 1/2 x, and the x-intercept is negative 16. Now that means that's a point on the x-axis, so it's got treat it like a point, not as a, because the tendency is to think that's a y-intercept, and it's not. It's an x-intercept. So go back and use the point-slope form. Y minus 0 is equal to the slope, which is 1/2, times x minus 16. Y minus 0 is just y. And distribute the 1/2. You have 1/2 x, and 1/2 times 16 is negative 8. It's the same as 16 divided by 2. Except this should have been x plus 16 because it's x minus a negative 16. So that should be a plus. Okay, so I almost made a mistake on that one. Alright, let's go to the next page. Okay. We want the formula of passing through 2 points and in slope-intercept form. So you have to find the slope first. So the slope is going to be 4 minus 1 over 3 minus a negative 2, or 3 plus 2. And that's going to be 3/5. So then we want to put it in slope-intercept form. So we have y minus 4 is equal to 3/5 times x plus 2. So y minus 4 is equal to 3/5 x plus 6/5. Then we want to add 4, because we need to add 4 to both sides. So when we add 4, this becomes 0, 4 minus 4, so that's not there anymore. Okay. So y equals, now remember we want to make our 4 in terms of fifths, so we multiply by 5 over 5. So that's 20/5. So instead of the 4 now, we're going to have 20/5. And then our final answer and I don't know why I put 2. That should have used the 3 and the 4. If I used the 4, this should have been a 3. So I need to go back and fix this all, actually. Y minus 4 is equal to 3/5 x minus 3. So when I distribute that, that's going to be 9/5, and it's negative. And then when I add the 4 across, it's plus 20/5. And so y is equal to 3/5 x plus 11/5. Okay. Now this one is in standard form, so I'm going to have to find slope as well the first time. 5 minus 5 is equal to 7 minus a negative 3. That's going to be 0 over 10. It's a 0. So 0 can be a numerator, so my answer to the slope is 0. So this is a horizontal line. And a horizontal line is a y equals some number line. So look at the y values. They both are the same. So the equation is y equals 5. And again, that is standard form. The variables are on one side, the numbers on the other. Parallel to this line, passing through this point. First we have to find out what the slope of that line is. So 4y. And actually this is the same line, so let's do that in the middle. We have 4y is equal to negative 3x plus 8. And when I divide by 4, negative 3/4 x plus 2. Now the only thing we need from this information for solve these problems is this slope right here. The parallel line, for this new line, the slope's the same. And over here for the perpendicular line, we change the sign so it's positive, and the slope is 4/3. Now we take our point, our x1, y1. Okay. Now another way we can do standard form, and I don't want to throw you, but another way we can do that is to use the slope formula and plug these in. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And sometimes standard form is easier. Slope is -3/4, and the slope of our equation is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? Now we're going to use this point for our x1, y1. So instead of the y1, we're going to put in our -3. So x minus a -3. And instead of x, that should have been x1. Instead of our x1, we're going to say x minus 5. Okay? Now we're going to cross multiply, and instead of y2, we can just make those x's and y's. Okay, so let's go back, and this can be y minus that, and x minus 5. Now when we cross multiply, then we have -3 times x minus 5 equals 4 times y plus 3. And this is really helpful when you want it in standard form because you don't end up with fractions as often. And I'm going to just kind of do this over here. We have -3x plus 15 is equal to 4y plus 12. Now we need to get our x's and y's together. So I want my x to be positive, so I'm going to move that over here. I'm going to add x, 3x to both sides. And I'll subtract 12 from both sides. Okay, so that adds to be 0. This is 3 equals 3x plus 4y. Okay, and our final answer then would be, and we're still up here, and I'm running out of space, but it would be 3x plus 4y equals 3. And that's the final answer for this parallel perpendicular line over here. Now I'm going to erase some of that because to make myself room, yes. So let me just erase a little bit of this and write the final answer in here. Okay, the final answer for this is 3x plus 4y equals 3. And then I'm going to get rid of this so I have room to work on my other problem. Okay, so you had the work. Hopefully you took the notes. Now this one, slope-intercept form. So this one we're going to use point slope for. Okay, so we have y minus -11, or y plus 11, is equal to 4/3 times x minus 3. Well, so we have y plus 11 is equal to 4/3 x, and 4/3 times 3 over 1, these cancel, so you're left with minus 4. Then I have to subtract 11 from both sides. And so my final answer is y equals 4/3 x minus 15. And that's the perpendicular line. Now when you have charts, we're going to have to find the difference, find our delta y. So this goes up 2 each time. This is a pretty steady chart, and this one goes up 6 each time. So remember, our slope form is the change in y over the change in x, and that's 2/6 or 1/3. Now we also know a y-intercept because this right here, when x is 0, we have a y-intercept, so that's b. So we know our slope, and we know that b is equal to -2. And so then we can just put it in point slope. We can just write the equation 1/3 x minus 2. But we want it in standard form, so we're going to subtract our y. We're going to have 1/3 x minus y. That's subtracting this y over here. And we're going to add 2 to both sides. So, and that equals 2. And we're going to multiply through that by 3 to get rid of the fraction. So you end up with x minus 3y equals 6. Okay? Now, we have this one. It's a little different. Our delta y here is not always the same. We have minus 10, minus 5, minus 10, and minus 5. This one is up 2, up 1, up 2, and up, that's 15, up 3. Alright, so our change in y over our change in x is equal to negative 5 every time. Negative 10 over 2, negative 5 over 1, negative 10 over 2, and negative 15 over 3. Now we're going to choose, we don't know how to do, we don't have a y-intercept, so we have to pick a point. So we're going to pick 1, negative 8. So y plus 8 is equal to negative 5 times x minus 1. Okay, so y plus 8 is equal to negative 5x plus 5. And it's subtracting 8 across. Y is equal to negative 5x minus 3. And that's our final answer for that one. Okay, so we are done with lesson 2.2.